game here.
Sure. Welcome again, guys. If you didn't hear, this is the Playhem $400 open tournament. This is Playhem's first really big tournament. We have so many big names, guys. I'm so excited to bring this to you. It looks like our first game is going to be Rain Perfect versus a relative unknown Zerg here. I'm going to check his ladder profile real quick. Let me give us an idea. Okay, so he's a Masters player. You know, he hasn't played a lot of games in Masters Division, and sometimes when I see that, what it means is he's actually a European player, and this is his Smurf account on the NA server, which, you know, might not be true, but we definitely have a Masters Zerg here versus RGN Perfect, who is one of my personal favorites. I've watched this guy play a lot. He's a great North American Protoss. I've learned a lot from him. I'm a Protoss player, so a little bit of bias there. But yeah, I'm super excited to get into this guy's game. This is the first round, but every round is a best of three.
Yeah.
Starts on Metalopolis. I think it's loser picks for the next map.
So basically the way the tournament works is that loser will pick if they lose the match, and of course there is the map pool. It's pretty much all GSL and MLG maps, which we deem, of course, as the most fair. We're not going to use Blizzard ladder maps. Oh man, I've had enough of that. So
yeah, why don't we just bring back Steps of War? That'll
bring
be
back
fair,
Steps
right?
of War, Delta Quadrant. All right, how about let's get our scrap station on?
Yeah. Scrap Station. I love that. I actually love that map. As imbalanced and silly as it was, I had some funny games on Scrap Station.
Yeah. So it looks like we're gonna get ready to see if Perfect is ready as well. And you know what? Could you hear that car honk in the background?
I did.
Okay, so that I will close my window just to make sure sound. So I'll be right back in just a couple seconds.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah, so Perfect is ready. Caster is closing his window. 5 seconds. Yeah, so as soon as he gets back, we're going to start this game. And, man, I'm really excited. RGN Perfect. I mean, the RGN team kind of happened. It was built on the corpse of Root, let's say. Some of the Root players went to Complexity. Some of the Root and some of the VT players went ahead and combined to make Rain. Rain Perfect here is a perfect example of this new team. I haven't seen a lot out of him since he joined Rain. So yeah, this is going to be the first look I really am going to get here, and I am super excited.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what Perfect can bring, and of course, Perfect's one of those players who's very emotionally outspoken about the state of Protoss right now. Out of all the Playhem tournaments I've casted, I've definitely heard him share his opinion on the state of balance right now. But it's Metalopolis, one of my personal favorite maps, especially a great map for PvZ. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I agree completely. Going back to what you said, Perfect. Yeah, all Protoss feel a little upset about the balance of the game, but you have to be careful when you're actually playing in a tournament. You can't let the balance affect your mindset, because it doesn't matter how imbalanced infestors are, or whatever you feel is imbalanced. You still have to play against it. And if you get in that mindset where like, oh, this race is better than me, I'm just gonna lose, you can find yourself throwing games that you actually could have won.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and it's very, very easy to just fall into like a tilt kind of mode. And I hope Perfect can stay on top. So of course Perfect is over here as the green Protoss, and looks like he's gonna start putting his opponent on the high ground. So, and it looks like at the same time we do have Shadrock, our red Zerg, kind of an unknown player here, but he is a Masters player. I'm looking at the bracket right now, and of course he's going up against Perfect, one of the top Protosses in North America.
Yeah, definitely. I think out of Rain, we're going to probably see a safe build. We see he's not doing any type of Forge First fast expansion, which is really hard on Metalopolis. He doesn't know anything about his opponent. If I were Perfect, I would assume, I'm the better player here. I'm just going to play my game. I'm going to play super safe, and I'm going to take it, because this guy's an unknown, but he is only Masters, and for Perfect, that's actually not very scary.
Well, I mean, it's definitely a good option to be able to play really safe, especially because it is one of those. I don't want to say that he's like not exactly a good player, but since Shadrock's an unknown player, you kind of don't know exactly what to expect from him. Versus a player like Perfect, his play's been documented much more than his opponent's. So his opponent can get ready for him much easier than Perfect can.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Perfect. people know who he is. His replays are out there. I mean, I'm sure our opponent didn't specifically look up games for this match. At the same time, I bet he's watched streams where he's seen Perfect play. If he can remember some of that, he might have a bit of an advantage going here. I want to point out Shadrach is actually doing a little bit of probe harass. He was jumping on those minerals to stop the probes from mining for a little bit, and that can be a signal to, we could have a pretty high skill player on our hands right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Those small kind of things to just, disrupt the probe mining and make sure just to throw off those timings just very, very slight by a couple seconds, and you never know if that pays high dividends, especially on this kind of level. And, and during this whole time, Shadrach does see double gas as well, so that does give some good indication, especially second gas timing. Meanwhile, it looks like Shadrach, he's opening up pretty standard, though. He saved enough money for speed really quick, so it looks like, again, both players just playing very safe and standard at this point.
Yep, we're going to see the Zerg player clear out this probe and get his hatchery down. I want to point out, since you mentioned the gas timing, RGN's gas timing was completely standard. He didn't go for a super early gas, which would be indicative of tech play. I think we're going to see some sort of either 1-gate or 3-gate expansion out of him.
Yeah, and it's definitely a very standard thing, just to be able to go for an early expansion, but of course that 3-gate just to be, the very, very safe side. And with the sentry being revealed to the drone, because the drone will be able to catch that immediately, Shadrach will definitely be able to, react appropriately, feel very safe to start droning up, as opposed to if he saw something like a stalker pop out of the gateway.
Right, and we do see the second sentry is started immediately, so I'm almost 100% sure, and with that pylon on the low ground, we are going to see some sort of gateway expand.
Yep, and it looks like Shadrach, in the meantime, he got the Q, and he's already got his second queen out, which is quite an early queen, but definitely something I can get on board with, as he is going to drop a creep tumor and walk all the way down. So both players opening up very solid, very good builders, but look at this in the top. It looks like Shadrach had a little bit of a truce with the sentry, but the sentry realized that his bosses were watching, man. He's like, I gotta do it, man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, those drone scouts can get so annoying when you chase them with sentries, and I do want to point out, Shadrach is actually getting a Roach Warren, and this map, with such a wide open natural, a Roachling all-in can be so powerful. I'm not sure if this Roach Warren is defensive or not, but if he is going for that timing, this can be super hard to deal with as a Protoss player. Yeah,
and you know what? Shadrach timed this out very well. This is pretty standard if you want to go for some hyper Roach aggression, and then what you can do is just try to do enough damage. You're not obviously trying to end it, but you're just trying to punish Protoss for being greedy. And this is actually very reminiscent of Korean-style Zerg, which is just very, very aggressive in this early stages of ZVP.
Right, yeah, we saw this build really innovated by I Am Losira a couple seasons ago in the GSL, and we do see 7 roaches being produced. He's going to move out right away, actually pulling back a bit, but he is going to send these roaches relatively fast. He's probably going to follow it up with a ton of speedlings and see if he can just break this expansion down by RGN Perfect.
Yeah, and looks like Perfect. Does he have any idea? No, don't think so. I mean, in fact, he doesn't even know. He doesn't have any control over the watchtower, and that's because this whole time he's been getting sentries. Although, of course, the one thing is that he's been going for pure gateways. No kind of forge or cannons are on the way too, and it's always moving out with sentries, which is not a good idea here, Bonk.
Yeah, he has no control of the watchtower, like you said, so he's not going to see these roaches approach at all. This is all going to come down the force fields. Oh no, but RGN is moving out. He is going to have to engage these roaches in the wide open. We do see the engagement coming. As soon as he sees those roaches, he pulls back, and the roaches start to work on a gateway for a little bit there. Stalker's being warped in. Great force fields there, actually, cutting those roaches in half. Guardian Shield goes down, even more force fields. Wow, this engagement is actually going pretty well so far, but this is only round 1 of the attack. He's focusing down individual roaches with his sentries. That is great play. Yeah, I really think he is losing a lot of sentries, but I think he may be able to clean this up.
Ooh, but it looks like Shadrach is not done with his regression. He's making more roaches, although Perfect does have a good number of stalkers. And Shadrach, he's got to back off now, but a good thing that you pointed out, Bonk, was that the sentry loss is huge. I mean, Perfect had 5-6 sentries, and now he only has 1, so he's going to have to reinvest all of that gas, which he doesn't really have since he's only been on 2 this whole time.
Right, yeah, he actually made another round of roaches, but did not send them out. He realized he was in a bit of trouble and needed to defend. Perfect is going for a bit of a counterattack here. I think he's not going to be too aggressive with this. He's just trying to make the Zerg feel off kilter, because there are too many units for this attack to actually work. And Perfect playing perfectly realizes this and pulls back instantly.
Yeah, looks like Perfect is going to hightail it back home. Shadrach is going to chase just for a little bit. Meanwhile, it looks like Perfect going to do some reinforcement warp-ins, but again, looks like he controls this little lane here, which is actually very important. And I like that Perfect's actually transitioning to a robo. It's very, very standard, not trying to do anything too gimmicky, but in the sense just trying to get out an observer, especially to get creep control this early on.
Right. When you're a high level player and you get in a tournament like this, okay, well when you're not a high level player, let's say, and you hold a Roachling all in like that, your first instinct is like, I have this game, I can just go and attack and win. But we see Perfect is actually waiting for several more rounds of warp-ins. He knows what position he's in right now, and the worst mistake you can make is being over aggressive and throwing a game you had won.
Oh man, I can't tell you how many times I've lost my army as Protoss when you just overcommit. Oh, looks like Perfect though. He's put up the Guardian Shield. That means he's going to commit. The Queen's all undefended, and the Roaches are going from this different angle, but looks like a good couple of force fields. But Perfect is zoning out the rest of the Roaches, and I mean, Perfect's got a lot of army. He's gonna walk up the ramp though, and try to see if he can force field the Roaches down on the ground.
Right, and he's put a proxy pylon on the low ground, so he's going to be able to warp in on the high ground. He misses his force field on the ramp. So these Roaches are squeezing by one, but oh, he has 5 gateways fully powered. He's Chrono boosting them, a ton of units being warped in, and I think our Zerg is down for the count here.
Oh no, Perfect did run out of force fields though, so it looks like he won't be able to reinforce the ramp, but at the same time, Shadrach, he's losing a ton of drones. Look at these Zealots go to town on all the drones. More Stalkers are reinforcing right now to all of Perfect's army right now. And of course, Shadrach, he does have a lot of Roaches popping, but I mean, he's trying to micro as much as he can, but I think Perfect may just have too much here, especially because he has a full number of gates operational. Meanwhile, Shadrach took a lot of econ damage here, Bonk.
Right, even if, and we do see the GG there, even if the Zerg was able to hold this, his economy is just destroyed, and yeah, great game by Perfect there. Sensing, you know, he poked in, and then he decided to play it safe, but then he realized, oh wait, there aren't enough units out, I can just end the game now, and just went up the ramp. I love the proxy pylon on the low ground. That's such high level play right there. And then you can just warp in on the high ground and cut his army in half by force fielding the ramp.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, it was a very heads-up play. What was kind of cute too was that Perfect had the pro with his army, so that he, in case he needed to put another pylon on the high ground or something, he could have. So he just kind of like it was like a full plan. It wasn't just like that pylon is all or nothing. Because he needed to be able to reinforce. That was the ultimate dagger inside of Shadrach. So that was very well played by Perfect, and he had that star sense to be able to go for a counterattack at just the right moment to make sure that he can catch Shadrach a little bit off guard. So,
right, definitely. A little thing I want to point out there. As we were commentating, I was taking a look at the APM tabs, and RGN Perfect was sitting pretty at about 130, 148 PMR. Zerg was only at about 60, so I feel like our Zerg might be a bit outmatched, but he is a very manner player, saying GG, well played last game. And really, that was well played. That Roachling all in is so scary to deal with, and Perfect with great force fields. I mean, wow. Great play by him. Yeah,
definitely. And of course, we can definitely expect high-level play once again. And, if you're just tuning in, you guys picked a great time to tune in. My name is Frodan. With me, of course, today is Bonkaroonie. And, I'm very excited. If that for Game 1 was any indication of the level play we will see throughout the day, I'm very excited.
Oh, me too. I want to point out real quick, this is an interesting map choice by our Zerg. I feel like this is one of the best maps in the game right now for a Protoss player.
Oh yeah, I love Shakur's Plateau. It's one of my absolute favorite maps in the entire map pool, just because I think it brings such diversity in play, and every change they've made to it, I very much thoroughly enjoyed. And I like that there's a high ground of the natural you can defend as well. So you can definitely probably expect some kind of Forge Fast expand from our Protoss player.
Right, and you are completely right, my friend. RGN Perfect is moving down his probe. He's going to put that pylon, and then he's probably going to scout immediately. We don't see any sort of... I kind of thought when I saw this map choice, maybe our Zerg's going to go for a 6-pool or something. But it looks like he's going to play this game pretty straight up, getting the second Overlord. There's no pool down right now, so yeah, he's going to transition. I like this very little thing right now. Shadrach is actually sending his Overlord to scout for a proxy. Because behind these bushes is a perfect place for Protoss the proxy.
Yeah.
Obviously, Perfect doesn't feel the need to cheese right now, but this is still great play for any new Zerg players. Always check this location, guys.
Yeah, and you know, that's a tip that will save you many heartache on the ladder.
Oh, yes.
Especially if you're trying to make your way out of certain leagues and into new ones. Ooh, it looks like Perfect. Ooh, he might almost got caught by that drone train, but instead Shadrach barely missed. Meanwhile, Perfect getting a good scout, seeing all of what Shadrach's choosing to do. And of course, Shadrach, he did choose this map, so keep in mind he may have a specific build in plan, but for the most part, it looks like he instead